Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is John. I'm a full-time eBay seller based in Melbourne, Australia. What that means is that I buy things from Facebook Marketplace, op shops, thrift stores, flea markets. I get given stuff for free, collections to sell on consignment. I put all of it on eBay to sell for a profit. If you're somebody who has sold an item or two here or there, and you think to yourself, I would like to turn this into a regular income, whether it be part-time or full-time, this is the channel for you. Stick around, you might learn a thing or two along the way. Today I've been to the op shops. It's my third day going this week. I've gone Tuesday, Wednesday, and now today is Thursday. I'm working out whether if I go regularly, I will run out of things to pick up. I've been told that if I go on a Monday, I'll get the best stuff. I've been told that if I go on a Thursday, I will have nothing left. Not really the case. We've picked up a whole tub of clothing. We picked up some toys as well. We spent just over $200 in one op shop. I'm not going to go to the rest. I think in total, I spent just under $700 this week. As most of you know, I'm a full-time toy seller. I sell toys. We sell just under 1,000 toys a month. And clothing is a category that I started getting into 3 or 4 months ago, seriously, because the ladies who sell women's clothing in our online Discord community have been saying, John, you need to get into clothing. You'll learn it so quickly, you'll get it. It's not that hard. And to their credit, it hasn't been that hard. So far, the sell-through rate on the store is sitting at about 30%, which is crazy for 90 days. And I'm looking to keep that up. So the thing I wanted to talk about today, though, is not so much the op shop sourcing frequency, but rather this need for people to not share knowledge. It's been bugging me. I've seen it a lot on social media with someone asking for advice, and usually around what kind of stock to sell, where to source items from, and the comments, while some try to be helpful at a very surface level, there are those that are, we don't share our secrets, I'm not on eBay to pass the time, I'm here to make money, as a justification to not share knowledge. And that pisses me off. It pisses me off for several reasons. I was going to say 2 reasons, but I feel like I'm going to come up with more along the way. So the first reason it pisses me off is because every person that has been successful and is successful that I've met and had the privilege of sharing a meal with, a coffee with, to learn from, has not been withholding. They've been generous in their knowledge. They have been keen to share their story. They have been keen to give back. And when somebody says, I've been selling on eBay for 30, 40, 50 years, and that's their justification that because I've kept it secret, I've been able to stay in business that long, that is concerning, and that's not something that I ever want to emulate as a person, and neither should you. It's so limited, it's so small-minded. And I understand where it's coming from. It's this fear of if I share, someone will take my market share. Guess what? Reselling is not difficult. It's actually pretty easy to do. And the knowledge is everywhere. By sharing knowledge, you engage in conversation that allows you to learn and allows you to pivot. I sell clothing right now because I started a YouTube channel because someone said to me, you should consider doing it. You are keen to share knowledge. My posture was to share. I created a YouTube channel that then led to a Discord community that you're welcome to join. The link's in the description. And through conversations in that community, I find myself selling clothing because it is another thing that I can do, know how to do, and seem to be doing well. That's the kind of control that I want to have as a business owner, because I know that if I need to make changes, I can. A lot of us started being self-employed because we were in situations, in jobs where we felt like we couldn't. Where we couldn't get a promotion because we just weren't in with the in crowd in management, or we couldn't because we didn't want to do the non-work related things. We did great work, but we didn't want to do the networking events. We didn't want to stay late. We didn't want to go for drinks. We hoped that by doing great work, it would reflect in promotions, in pay increases, but it just didn't happen. Or maybe we found ourselves working in environments where it was constantly uncertain because funding was uncertain, management was uncertain, and it just felt like even if I wanted to make a difference, I couldn't. That's one of the big reasons why we choose self-employment. We don't choose self-employment because it allows us to make a ton of money immediately. Most of us don't even match our incomes when we go from a job to being self-employed, but we do it because there is this belief that we can take control of our destinies, we can make decisions to better our circumstance, or if it doesn't better our circumstance, we can learn from it and make adjustments quickly rather than sink with a ship that we have no say in steering. So to hear someone who has been in business for 30, 40 years say, this is how I stay in business, this is wisdom, to me that's not wisdom, it is fear, it is small-mindedness. And I wish that all of you, when you get to a certain point in your business journey, that you'll realize that it is better to give than to receive, and you always end up receiving more when you give. I've been self-employed now since 2013. So it's been 11 years now. I've been a full-time eBay seller for 6 years. I was in finance before that. And I've only been able to get to this place because my posture was to give first, not to keep first. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is, reselling is, because it's so simple, it's not complex. Whenever we find ourselves losing a hold on a category, two things need to happen. The first thing is, give yourself credit that you can learn. Because if you don't believe that you can be a lifelong learner, then self-employment is like choosing suffering. Because we have to learn so many things. We have learned so many things along the way to get to where we are. For you to be in business for 30 or 40 years, you had to learn how to do accounting. You had to learn how to manage staff. You had to learn how to, manage cash flow. You had to learn how to manage inventory. You had to learn how to provide great customer service. If you didn't learn any of those things, getting to 30 years would have been very miserable. Better off going to a job where all those things are done for you and you just turn up and work. And so give yourself credit that you are able to continue learning, to learn new categories, to pick up new items, and to also keep up with the new inventory that's coming into the market. The used category is much larger than the new category. The new category is just marketed stronger. So you think that everything that is available for sale is new because it's marketed to you. The used stuff isn't, but the fact is there are more used stuff in circulation than new. So many items that you can pick up to then plug supply into existing demand. It could be homewares, it could be toys, it could be books, it could be media, it could be electronics, it could be automotive parts, it could be furniture. The new market cannot meet all the demand that is available, and if anything, the way that marketing works is creating a need. And what creating a need just means is, you come to me wanting to buy something, I tell you what you should buy. So if you say to me, I want a chair that is comfortable, I'll say to you, given the limited range that I have of new items that I'm motivated to sell during this period of it being a new release, these are the comfortable chairs that you should buy. And you're forced to select there. But the moment you branch out into the used market, wow, there are chairs that are wider that were made from 10 years ago. There are chairs that are much softer, made from materials that are more durable. The options are endless. And learning the nuances of those categories sets you up to not feel insecure when someone appears to have knowledge that you think is only special to you. The fact is, there's no such thing as knowledge that's special to you, and keeping that knowledge to yourself and trying to tell people on Facebook groups that I know something you don't know is firstly immature, secondly myopic, very small-minded. It is not something to be proud of. That's the short of it. It's not something to be proud of. And for some people, it's a challenge to work out what it is that you don't know, what it is that you know. And usually once we find it out, we're like, that's it? That's your thing? That's the thing that makes you believe. That's the thing. It's not real. That's the thing that makes you believe that you're good. But you're not behaving like you're good. And so when I call out this behavior, oftentimes I get the reply, well, how do you explain thrift store prices going up? Well, thrift store prices go up because they're businesses. Their cost of goods may be zero, but they still owe it to themselves to increase prices to cover increasing overhead. The fact that we see more op shops around tell you that there is increasing overhead. Shopping center rent goes up, rates go up, wages go up, but they're all volunteers, not all of them. But that's besides the point. The point being is, as costs go up, prices have to go up. And you as a reseller have to look at increasing your prices too if you are a business owner. If you're selling from a hobby point of view and you're not keeping track of prices, that's okay. You know, your finger isn't always on the pulse. But if you are someone who is selling as a business, you have to look at increasing your prices. When I first started selling Thomas trains, I sold them at $9 and under. Now I sell them for, if they're in good condition, $12.95 plus shipping. Shipping has gone up as well. When we first started selling small parcels were, I think, around $8. Now they're $10.95. Well, that's what I charge anyways. You have to get comfortable with increasing prices, you increasing them as a seller on your items for sale, and you accepting that the cost of goods is also going to increase, because that's just how economies work. So yeah, that's my little rant for today. I'm gonna go back home and show you guys what I picked up. And yeah, despite op-shop prices increasing, there's still money to be made, and a lot of money to be made. Those of you in the Discord community who are watching this video, you will probably say, John, I don't think you're able to process what you picked up. True, and we will rebalance that. I'm still figuring out how fast I can process. I'm definitely getting quicker at photographing clothing and listing clothing. The SKU system's working fine. The lighting on the floor is still pretty good, so I'm quite happy with that. The kids have actually been quite considerate in terms of keeping that area clear. I'll show you guys later. You'll see what I mean. As you can see, this is where I take photos of clothing. All I really need is this square space in front of me. It's big enough to put long dresses, white jackets, and the kids do a good job keeping this part clean. But for the rest of it, it's young family as usual. To be able to give my kids this space to play, they do have, there's 3 Lego tables here. They go nuts. The pieces do trickle out. And I share this with you because there are many resellers who, when they think of starting and scaling up, and when I say scaling up, I don't mean going to a warehouse. I just mean getting to a place where you're making enough money that you have to lodge a BAS or sales tax, for those of you not in Australia. So that's $75,000 a year in total revenue. To get to that point feels like there's too many hurdles because the house is a mess, there's not much space. So many resellers do it with whatever space they have. And this is kind of why I enjoy this clothing experiment so far. It's probably not going to be an experiment for much longer. I think it's going to be a category that I'll get into and try and build it up to a 6-figure store the way I've done with the other toy stores. It's interesting because you guys have seen the garage. It's not the neatest place, but it's functional and it enables me to ship out 1,000 items every month. That's been great. So when it came time to figure out a new category, there was a period of time when I went, I don't have the storage for, big machinery. I don't really want to spend time testing technology. I don't have the space to store that kind of stuff, or I don't want to have to fulfill things with different packaging. And so then this whole clothing exercise has been about, can I be resourceful instead of rely on there needing to be resources to start? The best definition of resourcefulness that I've heard is that resourcefulness is how you use what you have rather than wishing you had more before you get started. And I love that definition because this is essentially what this has become. We have space, but we do use it for family, and just a matter of shuffling, moving things out of the way, communicating with family as well. Like this, I would like this space to be clear. Around it, it's fine. I'm not trying to keep everything clear. Of course, I understand that when things are cluttered, it can lead to a cluttered mind. It can lead to me feeling a sense of overwhelm if, I want things to be neat. But at the end of the day, I recognize that I'm also living here with 3 people, 2 of whom are quite small. And to get them to adjust to my standards so that I live a clutter-free life is actually quite hard and probably not reasonable. And so I would say that with the ADHD, I'm able to just kind of get started. And once I get started and I'm focused, I usually can photograph here for 3-4 hours at a go. And really, I don't see all this anymore. All I see is this space where I'm working, and I'm able to knock out 30-40 garments, things like that. So today I figured I'll show you what I've picked up at the op shop on a Thursday, not a Monday, and from a place where prices are not cheap either. So this is the one that's in the Westfield around the corner, and their prices are not competitive. For example, this is just a standard witchery kind of tank, basics kind of thing that usually would sell for $10. $7 is not a good deal, but for $2 I'll take it just to add bread and butter to the store. I'm not above it, if that makes sense. Like, bread and butter is not beneath me because I sell toy trains, toy cars, action figures. I have rare items, and I also have the stuff where a buyer will come and buy 10 of the 10 characters from a range of toy cars because they want to fill out a collection. And so to me, picking up items and building up a range of a particular, I guess, silhouette, particular size, particular, I suppose, brand tier, I'm okay with it. And I don't actually need to spend $2 to make 50 for it to be worth my while. Happy with 2 and 10. I can process things quite quickly, and I have standard shipping days. It doesn't really take me out of that routine. I do understand that for some beginner resellers, it can feel like a lot of work to get $8 because you're having put the kids to bed. You've done a day of work at a real job, and then you've a real job, as if this isn't a real job. But the point being is, you come home and you need to almost like go out of character, make time, make space to just get that $8. It feels like it's not worth it. Once it's a rhyme and rhythm thing, bread and butter stuff will not feel that way anymore. So yes, whilst you're looking for the valuable items, do keep an eye out for those bread and butter stuff that you can actually add to your store, because those dollars do add up. This was a $6 for revenue dress that should sell for $20. Once again, bread and butter margins. What else we've got? This is a Wayne Cooper skirt. I think it's silk and cotton. This one was $2. So this one should sell for $30. Happy to take a best offer of $20. J. Crew, I've heard a lot about J. Crew from various podcasts online and stuff, but I've actually never picked up a J. Crew anything. So to be able to see one here, and I kind of go, it's like shorts that you can kind of fold in and buckle. Looks like that. Shorts or skirt? Skirt. No, shorts. There you go. And it's got green hearts on it. Yeah, looks decent. The sell-through is really good on this. For those of you guys who don't know, sell-through just means you're looking at active listings and sold listings, and you're assessing for yourself the ratio between what's sold versus what's active. Meaning, if you've got 100 items listed and 10 sold, that's 10% every 90 days. Most people try and go for larger numbers in both at a higher percentage, because whilst you can have 100 items listed and 50 items sold, 50% sell-through is okay. You really want to be in a pool where there's a lot of activity, but not so much activity that there's no uniqueness. So there's levels to it. It's not just a case of picking a percentage and that's good enough. J. Crew's got a very high number of items listed and sold and a above average sell-through. And for $2, I figured I'd give it a go. What else we got that's worth mentioning? This is like the crapshoot for me. This one is $2. It's a Alfred Angelo formal dress. I picked it up because it was in, very good condition, almost new condition actually. There's maybe like a small smudge here. Oh no, that's just a piece of loose thread. The comps are good. It should sell for around that $30-40 mark. The sell-through is really good as well. A brand that I've never heard of. Usually when I think of gowns, I think Barriano. I don't really know much more about that because I don't buy gowns. And whilst I go shopping with Jenny and my sister and other girls when I hang out with girls, I do like the shopping part. I don't go, you girls shop, go ahead. I'm curious. I find with gown shopping, guys don't tend to come along because girls kind of like to do it with girls. So then if there was like a knowledge-based gap, it would be on gowns. Whereas all this stuff like witchery, your country road, your trenery, the cider, all this kind of stuff, I'm fairly familiar with, even before I got into the clothing category. This is a $2 morph suit. So morph suits are limited edition. The whole idea is that you put them on and then you zip up the back of your head, so you have this as the front, like so. This was $2, White Ranger. It's an official morph suit. Once they stop making them, they stop making them. If this was brand new, it would sell for $100. There is a hole in the thumb here somewhere. I remember seeing it. But I should still be able to get $30-40 for it. So for $2, I'm quite happy with this. And Wendy, yes, Wendy, talking to you. Wendy, I know you were kind of wondering whether I'm sipping out funky, quirky things, because when I told you I was doing women's wear, you were like, hold up, I thought you were picking up cool t-shirts, funky stuff, and that was the point of the store, hence why it's called Ooh Interesting. Well, I think this counts as funky enough. So yes, White Ranger morph suit. Woohoo. What else? I'm picking up a lot of these winter things because usually when it's ski season, you cannot find enough ski stuff. Limited colors, limited sizing, and usually condition. So when I see ski stuff that's in almost like brand new condition, I will pick it up. It doesn't matter the brand, as long as it's a decent brand. This one is Crane, which is sold by Aldi. I paid $4 for this. This should sell for $20 pretty easily on Marketplace. Don't have to pay eBay fees for these, because most parents just go on Marketplace and look for ski stuff in their size, and whatever color matches, whatever they've got, they'll pick up. And some parents don't even care for color matching. So really, it moves quite quickly. The other thing to note is knowing how people go to buy things is very important. If you're on eBay and you're wondering why an item doesn't sell, ask yourself, when somebody wants to buy the item, do they go on eBay? And by that, do they think to search on the app? Or do they do it by going on Facebook and going on Marketplace to have a scrolling experience? Usually with eBay, the scrolling experience happens a lot later for buyers. And by that we mean the site's not built for scrolling, the site's built for searching and finding what you want. Therefore, and Amazon is built for searching and getting what you want, but Amazon will recommend to you items based on what they know of you. eBay doesn't do a really good job recommending. In fact, eBay's recommendation engine is kind of random, because it will recommend to you things that aren't really relevant to you because you've bought them a while ago, but it'll still try and go, hey, by the way, do you need another phone case? You're like, no, I bought this. This is like a 2-year-old phone already. But hey, do you need another phone case? Amazon's a lot more accurate. And so really with eBay, if it's an item that someone is looking for specifically, eBay is the place to go. Then if you can convince the buyer to follow your store, if they don't already do that by nature, then they can go to the saved searches, and then they are really waiting for you to list things that are of interest to them. But once again, if you list items that are random and all over the place, following your store will not be rewarding, because if I follow your store to look at a bunch of sports stuff that you've picked up, and suddenly I start seeing pots and pans tonight in my saved search, that's not a good experience, and a jarringly bad experience compared to other algorithms that do a much better job recommending to me, like Facebook, like Amazon, all the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok. They do a much better job recommending stuff to me than this eBay site. So therefore, because it's a very manual recommendation process, really that browsing thing only happens if you have a niche store that will consistently reward someone's decision to save you in their list. If you're wondering why I'm a little bit stuttery, is because I had my meds this morning and then I was not planning on sourcing today, but I figured I'd pop in just to see, and I did pretty well. Got inspired to do a video. You can see the ADHD kind of brewing. I haven't had my coffee today yet. I haven't had breakfast or lunch. That's not a good thing. It's a very ADHD thing. It does suppress, the meds do suppress appetite. So I'm getting a little bit shaky. I'm gonna quickly go through the stuff that's in here and then grab some lunch. And then I've got 2 hours to photograph as much as I can before I take the kids for swimming. All right, now that that's explained, back to the video. So we've got Wiggle stuff always does really well, because whilst looking for, there's the color and then there's the sizing. Usually if a parent can find the color but not the sizing, they don't buy because they want their kids to look great in it. So therefore, if I'm paying $2 for something like this, it should sell for, and the shop wanted $7, fair. I should be able to get 10 to 15 for this pretty easily. This one's for me. Super dry pants are for me. This one. This one I paid $11 for. mean, I'm guessing if you take away a couple of bucks for the points because of how much we buy servos. This is a Movie World exclusive Black Adam bomber jacket. It's really, really cool. The actual buckle is glitter, but not glitter that comes off. It's quilted on the inside, and comps are showing around the $100 mark. So I'm really happy to sit on this one. I don't think the person's actually even worn it, to be honest, because it all still smells very new, and the print doesn't even show any cracking at all. Black Adam is not exactly a popular character. Dwayne Johnson's also not exactly like a fan favorite, but this will appeal to somebody who likes Black Adam. What else we got? Oh yeah, we have Melbourne City jerseys in excellent condition. These are from the 2015 season. These were $9. The comps show around that 30-40 mark. Remember the reason for this video. The reason for this video was thrift store prices are rising because people are talking too much about it. You should keep all these secrets to yourself. That way, your business is more likely to be protected, which I call bullshit on. I'm talking about all this stuff to show you that prices have gone up. You still can make your margin. If it's not as much of a margin, process more. Most businesses go towards volume anyways. When you're sourcing stuff at the thrift or the flea market or on Facebook or whatever, you're not a couture brand. You're not designing one-off items. You're not Dolce & Gabbana. You're very much just putting items back into circulation again, which means the margins are going to be what the margins are, whether you keep things to yourself or not. This is not a hard business to figure out. It's only hard to do it consistently because most people are not trained to do businesses consistently, especially they come from a job where everything is designed to keep them productive. So productivity is the hardest part. Consistently growing a business whilst managing cash flow is a hard part. That's actually the learning curve. All this knowledge stuff, very easy. Like I said, I've only been selling clothing for a few months, and this is the stuff I'm picking up. This is a Transformers movie Bumblebee shirt. Paid $10 for this one. On this alone, no, but this, very nice. So this should sell, this is brand new with tax. This should sell for $30 to $40. Very much loving the back detail there. What else is worth mentioning here? The rest are all pretty basic stuff. Oh yeah, this is organic cotton. So this is organic natural cotton. I think it's from Sicily, Copenhagen. I paid $9 for this one because the comps are at $90. To be honest, this just feels like pajamas. It feels like a tea towel, but it's comfortable, it's breathable, and some people like this stuff. When you're getting into any category, you're going to want to experiment to some extent because there's not much fun being a copycat. Sure, copycatting does get you the base. It does set you up for a pretty good foundation, and it does give you, I suppose, the rhythm of getting into that category. But once you're done copying, you're gonna want to start testing some boundaries to see if stuff will sell or not. And I've always maintained that Terapeak is what other people have sold, not what you have tried. So therefore, I'm constantly looking for brands that I think, you know what, judging by the number of active listings, numbers sold, by the style, do I reckon I could sell this or not, given the store that I'm making? Because once again, there are the unknowns, like if I put a really nice dress next to a pot, it's not gonna sell as well as if I put a really nice dress next to a nice handbag, next to a nice pair of heels, next to a luxury watch. There's that part that's within my control, how I frame the experience for my buyer. I can also take photos against on gray carpet that's dusty, looks dirty with smudges, or I can take it on hardwood, makes it look cleaner, brings out a bit, reflects some light, gives it some shine. So many things that you can do that makes your item stand out compared to others. It's not just about the item. A lot of people, when they get into reselling, they think it's just about the item, and all this secrecy thing of not telling people stuff because they're afraid that they'll know the item. It's all very item limited, item focused. When you start building into a business, it's not about the item anymore. It's just one of the elements. So this is Avenue from Melbourne. There were quite a few listed, quite a few sold. So then I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a punt. This is the first one I picked up. It looks quite nice. It's pretty. Very Alana Hill-esque. So I picked it up for, how much did I pay for that? It was a blue tag, $2. Hoping to get around the 30-40 mark for that. Oh yeah, Carlsberg t-shirt. I already have one listed. Paid $3 for it. List another one. I like this one because it's not just printed on, but it's also got that Denmark Copenhagen detail here. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. So yeah, got two. So now I've got two sizes in the store. As you can see, we're building out a store. Ford Mustang t-shirt. Paid $5 for this. Good old 1969. The Boss 302. It should get us 20. So yes, the takeaway is prices are going up because prices are going everywhere. You should raise your prices as well. Share with people what you know, because in turn you also get to learn. And join a community of people who share and teach each other, rather than be among people who you have to try and ask the right question to get the right response. Otherwise, you're constantly being told that you're dumb, or that you don't deserve, or you haven't done the hard yards, or you haven't, put the rungs on the board. Like, reselling is not hard. It's actually very easy to do once, twice, 3 times. It's a lot harder to turn it into a business. That's the part where we require focus, we require discipline, accountability, body doubling, things that help us to actually do it regularly, so that we understand and you understand how you like running your business. Everybody does it differently. There's no right or wrong. And that's what this channel is about. So thank you for watching this video. I'd appreciate if you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Become a channel member as well. For $3.99 a month, I write a daily blog that covers all these topics in detail. Obviously, if I were to make a video every day, it would take time away from the business. So I do it as and when I can. Usually we go into depth the way we have today. And so I write a daily blog for our channel members. I go into detail into these topics every single day to hopefully help them, and possibly you, if you want to become a channel member, on topics around business, how to have a better life. Because once again, if we are making all this money, but we're taking it out of the way we live, what's the point of that? Also join our online community. It's called The Meaningful Hustle, because hustling without meaning is pointless. Until next video, take care. Thanks for being here. Leave a comment.